The same Nigerians are saying that APC has not kept any of its promises.
Thank you very much. But if you say Nigerians have said that APC has not kept their promises, I am surprised. It wouldn't be all Nigerians. I want to believe, maybe some have said that APC has not kept their promises. But some Nigerians equally, like my humble self, I can't say that APC has not kept its promises. It has kept nearly all the promises. It has to do with the level or percentage of keeping these promises. If, for example, we talk about security, which is very critical, if there was no president fighting Boko Haram, giving them a run for their money, if I may put it that way, then maybe the southern part of Nigeria, where we are enjoying relative peace, they would have taken over Nigeria. So in terms of security, for example, APC has tried its best to keep its promise and other areas. So Nigerians can't say, some Nigerians can't say that APC is not keeping its promises.
But then when you look at the inflation rates, when you look at the promises that was made in 2015, 2014, prior to the 2015 election, where President Muhammad Buhari was widely reported as saying that he was going to equate dollar to a naira, how petrol was going to be sold at a certain price, how food was going to be very cheap in the market, how he was going to fight corruption, and you compare, you do a comparative analysis of what he said and what it currently is. Would you still say that Nigerians would be confident enough to give APC another trial?
Yes, I want to believe that Nigerians who know about most of these things will still give their vote to APC. I want to take Gari, for example, that is locally produced, plantain, and other foodstuff that are locally produced. If anybody, if some Nigerians, some sellers, if they hear that transport is, for example, from Ekpa Road to Plaza, that 50 naira has been added to it, the next thing, the woman selling Gari, the next thing, the woman selling plantain will hike the price by 2%, by 100%. Now the question is Buhari, is APC the cause of this? I don't think so. It is the love we have for ourselves. It is a love we have for ourselves.
So do you believe that part of the economic woes, part of the skyrocketed prices of commodities we have is caused deliberately by human beings?
Yes. It's caused by human beings.
But the same human beings, the same people who deal on these things will tell you that it is because of this factor, that factor, that factor that they are not in control of that is making them to naturally increase prices of commodities because they want to make profits.
Well, you make reasonable profit in anything you do. You should be able to make reasonable profit, not a profit that you don't care whether we should be a brother's keeper. But the profit that most of us want to make is that kind of profit that we are not interested whether our brothers live, whether our sisters live, or they don't live. That is the way I see why most prices of things, especially things are locally produced, are influenced.
Do you agree with the position he has made?
I do not agree with the position he has made. In fact, he has not been able to convince me sitting down here about what APC has done so far. I've told you.
How will he convince you when you already have a candidate to support?
I've told you repeatedly that APC lack idea. They lack idea. They lack the political will. They do not even understand what macroeconomics is all about. You understand? Listen to what he has just said now about the movements from one place. What he should be telling Nigerians, all right? What he should or rather be showing Nigerians are the KPIs, the key performance indicators of his government for the past 8 years. When they came into power, what was the exchange rate? What was the forex like? When they came into power, what was the price of fuel? When they came into power, I mean, what are these indicators? The prices of things have doubled almost 3 times in the market, the open market. All right, we have inflation rate going up by over 21 point something percent, and it's telling us that APC government is trying. They have tried nothing. Last time I said that Nigerians are constantly threatened at the possibility of another APC-led government, given what we are experiencing now in the country, in the economy. So I disagree with him completely. His governments have failed, and we cannot reinforce failure.
These are the people who believe that your government has failed. And they have convinced a lot of Nigerians to believe that the APC government has failed. Don't you think that APC has much work to do to really make sure that this doesn't affect them negatively?
No, it is true that we have a lot of work to do. As I said last time that I was here, I said that APC is on a hot seat. So we are on the hot seat. We expect these challenges, and I can assure you that we are surmounting these challenges. That if APC was not here, it would have been worse. So we are surmounting these challenges, and I believe that Nigerians will definitely give APC a second chance. So why Nigeria? We know what is happening. For example, the issue of fuel. We know that there are some super Nigerians enjoying what they call fuel subsidy.
Yes, APC super Nigerians.
Yes,
APC and
they
PDP
are not,
super Nigerians.
Well, they may be APC or
that
PDP
is the
super
problem. That is the
Nigerians.
problem.
And I am saying that the fuel subsidy is being enjoyed by some certain Nigerians.
But your government said it was going to remove it when it came. So what's happening?
No, it's a gradual thing. It's a gradual thing. The subsidy, with our government, has said that finally, fuel subsidy must go because it's feeding wrong Nigerians, if I may put it that way.
Okay, so we've just been joined by the SA to the governor on media at Akwa Ibom State, and of course he is going to be speaking about his presidential candidate, obviously Atiku Abubakar, Reverend Richard Peters. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm going to fine you for coming late, but let us start with. Let us come with you now. The two gentlemen here have been speaking glowingly about their presidential candidates. I want to give you 2 minutes for a start. Why do you think that, in spite of all the hullabaloo that's happening in the PDP between Governor Wike and Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and the fact that the disagreement has not really been able, to have a meeting point, do you think that Nigerians have a lot of faith in your presidential candidates to be able to say, okay, you will be able to take Nigeria from here if we give you an opportunity to the next level?
All right. Thank you. But first of all, let me apologize for coming behind time. This is due to the problem, the challenges that we are discussing.
What challenge?
I came to meet my brothers here, making strong agreements as fuel subsidy. So you understand that before you get fuel now, you have to stand on queues for many hours before you can. You have to stand on a queue.
How is Atiku Abubakar coming to solve the problem?
For many hours. So I want to state here clearly that the problem, that their internal misunderstanding in the PDP is not beyond the control of the party.
But it doesn't look like that.
The party is very capable of handling whatever challenges. It's just a matter of agreement, understanding. And if you can recall, last week, Governor Wike openly said that they are ready for reconciliation. And I believe we are practicing a democratic system of government. And I think this democratic system of government cut across every facet of our endeavors, be it in the church, be it in the village, be it in the political party, and everywhere. So things should be done in a democratic setting. For instance, you can't just expect the party chairman to leave office
Reverend
without
Peters,
passing through the necessary.
I think we should not waste time on that matter. I was just asking in passing.
The
focus on today's program is what your presidential candidate has to offer Nigeria.
No, I want to establish that.
But
before
your 2
going
minutes are
forward.
almost gone.
I want to establish that we don't have any serious crisis in PDP.
You don't have a very serious crisis in PDP. We agree, but according to the papers we have reviewed today, Governor Wike is going to announce openly the presidential candidate that he would want his supporters to vote for.
That is his personal decision, and it has no bearing on the political party. But suffice to say that we have Atiku Abubakar, the likes of Atiku Abubakar, coming in to take over from the rotten APC government, because APC has taken this country 20 years backward. So they have rotten our economy.
How?
They have rotten our economy. The prices of things. It's a nagging issue on a daily.
Is it enough to use prices of things?
Not even prices. The insecurity in this country. The policies of this administration, governments are shaped with policies and programs.
Like what specific policy
I'm coming to that. If you look at the policies of the APC administration, you will agree with me that they are all scam. For instance, the issue of taking 2 million Nigerians out of poverty. Look at the indices they are using to like the trader money. The vice president will just get to one market and distribute 10,000 naira to like 20 women or 30 women, and the next morning it will be announced that 200 billion naira has been expended for trader money, whereas about 50-60 people benefited from that. Is that not a scam? These are things that they are trying to swindle our money using so many subheads, so many things to divert our money, and yet they are borrowing in trillions. These are policies that that weaken our economy. So are we still going to continue on this line? The answer is no. Nigerians has woken up to the fact that we need a government that is committed, a government that is honest, a government that is ready to tackle the challenges of insecurity, a government that is ready to tackle the challenges of economic meltdown, the government that is ready to dislodge the pillars of cabals. Look at the NNPC. They have the NNPC that the President Muhammadu Buhari is a minister of petroleum. Look how much have they remitted to the federal account? For 8 years, NNPC have not remitted a single naira to the federation account.
But if
and millions of naira is being said.
Hold on, let's have a little conversation. If somebody hears you ginger like this on this program, and the person remembers that the PDP had the opportunity to serve this country for all of 16 years and nothing much was achieved, don't you think that some people will see you as a joker?
Did you say that nothing much was achieved under the administration of PDP?
Were you satisfied by the administration of 16 years of PDP in this country, where a lot of billions were stolen, and up until today we are still taking money from one single minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the money has not yet finished, the money she stole?
The PDP administration in Nigeria did a lot of good fortunes to Nigerians. We had a PDP government that the administration under PDP showed a level of commitment to the Nigerian youth. We had in a situation whereby we had to tackle the security challenges in this country. Under PDP administration,
to what extent did you tackle the security?
We have positioned the economy of Nigeria that we became the giants of Africa.
All right, I'll come back to you. Hold it there. Ikake, I'm coming back to you now because you represent the new order, although a lot of people have argued that your presidential candidate is still from the old order. But, you know, the rejuvenation of the Nigerian youth and the kind of energy they push towards the direction of your presidential candidate is what is very remarkable, undoubtedly, in this country. Looking at what the PDP man has said, do you think that there is the need for Nigerians to even look in the direction of the two big political parties? Because both of them have spoken, but the last person who just spoke said PDP did so well in 16 years. Would you agree with that?
PDP and APC have no distinct difference.
Why?
They are from,
but your presidential candidate.
They are from the same.
No, let me do a follow up. From what you have just said, your presidential candidate was the vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar in just 2019. What makes him different now?
What makes him different is his antecedent, his records.
Where was that antecedent before 2019?
Is there in Anambra State?
He left because he wasn't favored. He should be. Nigerians should know the truth. Peter Obi left PDP because he did not receive the maximum level of support from PDP.
I would go with the first word. He left because he was not favored because of the corrupt nature, the corrupt practices of PDP, even in the process of choosing a candidate. Is about the money bags. And Peter Obi, our presidential candidate, was not willing to spend money because we are not playing the politics of money. We are playing the politics of conscience. In fact, to further prove to you how corrupt the system is, they now have a problem. Governor Wike, recently with the G5 governors, are having issues with the national chairman, and the president, his presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, have not been able to provide leadership in the midst of that problem. If he has not been able to provide leadership, you see, we start from micro to macro. If he has not been able to provide leadership, he has absorbed himself. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do. Obviously, this is what he will be doing with Nigerians and Nigeria when he becomes the president. He will be absorbing himself from issues. A leader should be willing to step forward and probably step forward alone. But he has not provided that leadership. Governor Wike is constantly saying that agreement is agreement. And they have not been able to align with the agreement. And I'm telling you, APC and PDP are the same thing. They speak from this side of the mouth and also counter what they say from the other side of the mouth. Labour Party, I said before now, is a party of young, intelligent, vibrant, educated, middle-class Nigerians, full of workers, people who are thinking, who are innovative, willing to take Nigeria to the next level. We are looking at a country where we can move from consumption to production, where we can move from this system, a system of capitalism that hinges on cronyism, where you have to know somebody in order to be able to have your way within the purview or the corridors of power. We don't want that kind of government.
All right, hold your thought there. Barrister, let me come to you now because the two gentlemen have had that day. So I'm going to give you enough time to respond to the question I want to ask you now. Your presidential candidate is widely known as somebody who does not take a no for an answer, in the sense that when he wants something, he makes the thing to be done. So it does appear that he has a lot of political will to do things. He can do things and much of people's goals, provided he wants the thing to happen. Do you think he will be able to bring this to bear? And not just that it is about his personal, if he wants to be a presidential candidate, he stands his ground and become, do you think this level of sagacity that he has will be brought to bear in the governance of this country, such that the people who are holding captive the power industry in this country that is not making Nigerians to have electricity, he will stand his ground like he's been standing to make sure we have steady electricity, and so on and so forth?
Sure. He has done it before.
Where did he do it?
He did it in Lagos State.
But Lagos is not Nigeria.
Lagos is not Nigeria, but that is a microcosm of Nigeria. That is a mini Nigeria. Lagos is a mini Nigeria. If you can do it in Lagos, he can extend it. He has the competence. When in his cabinet in Lagos, you know very well, we know very well, he was not interested whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are from anywhere in Nigeria. He looked for competence. He looked for who could deliver, and he did that. He worked with the best team, and he delivered. So he has what it takes. He has what it takes.
But the argument may be that Lagos was only a single state with a small geographical location compared to Nigeria. And in Nigeria, in the landscape of this country, there is a lot of peculiarities and diversities, difference in language and ethnicity and all of that. Do you still think that Nigeria is that kind of country that somebody will bring a track record of governorship to be able to rule that kind of country and do it well?
I want you to say yes. I have said that Lagos is a mini Nigeria. You know Lagos, the economy of Lagos is a very large economy.
Why does he want to run on the track record of his governorship in Lagos, other than because everybody expects that, well, if this is APC government, a presidential candidate from that party should be able to continue from when the Buhari administration should stop. But then it does appear that the APC doesn't want to talk about the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Rather, they want to refer to Lagos State. Why is it difficult for the APC to market this administration and build on it during campaigns?
No, we are building on the achievements of Muhammadu Buhari.
List the achievements.
For example, there was Ogoni, or spillage, sort of, for many, many years. PDP was in government during that time for the 16 years. Nothing was done about the cleanup. But it was Buhari administration that when it came, it ordered for the cleanup of Ogoni land, and that has been happening. Buhari, Siwaju will build on that. It will continue with the cleanup. It will make sure that the gas flaring is reduced and is utilized. So it's not that we don't talk. We don't want to connect the administration with the present administration. And I want to say that Asiwaju it was not only a Lagos State governor. He was a senator. So he has that experience. So not only that he was a governor of Lagos State, he has been a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right.
That's experience.
I will come back to you. Reverend Peters, let us take a look at how election happens and how results come from different people to make somebody the president. If you check the 2019, majority of the votes, let me not say majority, but a lot of the votes that came to Atiku Abubakar came from the southeast. Am I right? Now, there is a Peter Obi from the southeast. And you cannot be sure of the south-south in terms of bulk votes. And the north, a lot of competent people are there. I don't want to mention them because you know them. If you take all of these factors into consideration and the fact that 5 governors are not sure if they are going to support Atiku Abubakar, do you still think he has chances to be Nigeria's president in 2023?
If you ask me that question, I would tell you that without being biased, Nigerians have come to the realization that they no longer, dwell on rhetorics that are being portrayed, echoed by Tinubu, Peter Obi, and other likes.
Is Peter Obi not a threat to the PDP?
Peter B cannot be is the least worries of the PDP. Tinubu.
That is not correct.
Tinubu
because
governs.
I need to counter that immediately.
No, Tinubu
when people
governs,
like Fayose,
no, wait.
right?
Tinubu who
when
governs.
The PDP chieftains in his party have come out and said that
Tinubu
Peter Obi
governs,
is a threat to PDP.
It cannot be. The list is a list threat.
Let me tell you that
Peter
Obi is
Tinubu
not only threatening
Lagos
APC
State
and PDP. He is a movement in
Peter
Nigeria.
Obi
He's a
was the governor
of
Anambra
and
State.
is a movement in the world.
He imprisoned the finances of Anambra. Let me tell you, when you are a leader and people that are with you are not smiling, you are not leading.
Did you hear that?
Just like it's happening now.
For instance,
did you hear that?
For instance, people that
in prison, his governor has imprisoned.
Forget about that. That is a pure lie. Governor Emmanuel has judiciously used the money that accrued to the state. Now, Peter Obi was the governor of Anambra State. Today, all his commissioners are coming out to say that under Peter Obi, being a governor of Anambra State, he was self-centered and he could not allow statutory powers. He could not get more finances, could not get to statutory quotas so that they could use it. He was always pretending over everything. So there is a danger that
didn't he have the right to do so as an executive governor?
He appoints commissioners. There are members of the House of Assembly. He tied down the finances of the state and he could not allow anybody to, he could not empower anybody. Show me one person that Peter will be empowered as a governor.
What's the definition of empowerment?
Empowerment is that if you are given an opportunity, like now I am an aide to the governor. So the salary that comes to me and some of the statutory funds that I have, I should be able to use it and empower other people, raise other people, and pay other people. But Peter Obi, nobody, no commissioner under.
That's a very wrong sense of empowerment.
No.
That's a very wrong sense of empowerment.
What do you understand? There are different definitions of empowerment. If I, for instance, in my community, I have as an aide to the governor, I have put about 35 people through skills. And where do I get the money?
You people are virtually redundant.
From my own salary and from statutory funds that comes to me. I have used it to empower about 35 people in my community in skills acquisition. Show me one person that Peter will be empowered as the governor of Anambra State.
Can you answer that question?
No, let me finish. Tinubu was a governor of Rivers State. Tinubu was a governor of Lagos State. Tinubu bought half of Lagos
Reverend
to
Peters,
himself, and he became a drug
We will
lord.
come back to that. We will come back to that. He has said a lot of things about your presidential candidate, and he's not the only one saying so. A lot of people in Nigeria believe
even Father Mbaka openly rebuked him.
Hold on, that Peter Obi is not very good when it comes to understanding that situation. So what don't you think in a way that has the tendency to affect him?
You see, I believe that Nigerians are
want to
listening,
imprison Nigerians,
and Nigerians are intelligent. Okay, there is no Nigerian, except there is something wrong somewhere, that will listen to Reverend Peters and go and vote Atiku in 2023. All right, I'm listening to him, and all I could deduce are some disjunctive logic. All right, emotions and sentiments. What is empowerment? When a governor during his tenure of 8 years, that was in between impeachment 2 times, was able, one commissioner
that he empowered to stand strong. Today they are beginning to survive.
Was able, all right, to provide about 30-something thousand computers to the schools, public schools in Anambra State. He was able to train over 500,000 students. And in fact, Microsoft attested that Anambra State was the only state that was able to deploy such level of ICT skill in the whole of Africa. All right? A governor that left $500 million in investment, a governor that left 87 billion, all right, as at the time he left power.
How does that translate to
governor?
food?
No, I'm talking about development.
development.
I'm talking about development, all right? When they are talking about empowerment, they are talking about throwing money. He said as the aid to the governor, okay?
I empowered 25 of my
all those
community.
unnecessary, okay, and unnecessary wastages of public funds on people who don't have. Ask him what is
training of indigents a waste.
My brother,
If I should train my constituent, is that a waste? Is that you are calling that a waste?
Listen,
I empowered my constituent to learn skill. Is that a waste?
Gentlemen,
Peter Obi has been please let me just land this. Peter Obi has been to different countries in its bid to canvass for vote and support.
All right.
And you've seen people coming to him and telling him that there are PhD students that he sponsors. Somebody was giving
those are
1 million.
rhetorics.
There are no rhetorics. For you to sit down and say that these are rhetorics, it means that you are not abreast with the fact. You should go back and abbrace yourself.
It's not about being abbraced.
I'm telling you.
There are rhetorics and they are sponsored.
The publicity secretary of the APC has not been talking. So we want to run off the program. Reverend Peters, since you came late, we do this
They are always late.
We do this every Wednesday. So all of the things that you have to
I'll
say
be here on Monday and I'll be here on Wednesday.
Definitely. So you have to prepare your mind because we want to end the program now. But the APC person, you've heard what the two gentlemen.
I have.
In just 1 minute, I want you to address the positions of the both of them so that we go.
Okay. I want to specifically address the position of the PDP person here. He says that when Tinubu was a Lagos state governor, he imprisoned Lagos.
He bought half of Lagos state to himself, and today he's selling those places.
Let him land.
That he became a drug lord. I take special exception to that.
Have you not seen the publication by the US?
We want Nigerians to know the testimony of who Atiku Abubakar is. You hear from Obasanjo that when he was his vice, he stole the money that can feed Nigerians for 400
Has he been broke?
years.
Has he been broke?
So if there is
that is a lie.
thief,
That is a
it
lie.
Atiku Abubakar, that is a thief.
All right. You can't call somebody a thief on the national television because they only.
It's a lot.
Drug lord.
Is he not a drug lord? Is he not open? Is he not in the open?
That leaves a bad taste.
The both of you are insinuating, and of course, until a court of competent jurisdiction decides on that matter, we cannot speak authoritatively. So, thank you very much, gentlemen. There is no lady here, and of course, talking about Reverend Richard Peters from the PDP as aide to the governor on media, and of course the publicity secretary of the APC, Barrister Toba Sudo, and of course the head of strategy and strategic communications of the Labour Party. Am I right?
Strategy and digital communication.
Digital communication, Ika Kebasi. And of course, we will make a return next Wednesday on this particular matter. We want to do this until the election is over because, of course, we have a duty to ensure that you determine who to vote for. And the only way you can do that is to know who you want to vote for. You know the antecedents, their track records of performance, their experiences, and what they bring to the table. Sorry we couldn't take phone calls today because the session was very hot. My name is Michael Bassi. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And with this, that security is everyone's business. Do all to report every suspicious movement and character around you in your neighborhood to the security so that together we can live and enjoy the peace and the progress of this country. See you tomorrow. Bye.